What's up, World 2 family? It's Abraham here again, supervisor here at South Coast Welding Academy. And lately I've been focusing on a lot of pipe videos. So today I decided to take a step back to my learning days, and I'm gonna show you how not to weld stick. Let's get to it. All right, guys. So one of the very first things you want to do when you're gonna stick weld is clean your metal. Now you can weld with a dirty metal, but if you take pride in your work, make sure to clean the metal. Don't be lazy. So the second thing you don't want to do when you're stick welding is weld off balance. Alright guys, so this is my bead off balance. As you can see, I am really shaky, but that is because I am not propped on anything. I have nothing to support my body, and I'm just everywhere. Horrible. But the main thing about welding is you want to be comfortable and on balance. Alright guys, this is my other pass. I'm off balance as well, and I can't seem to keep a straight arc. So that is because I am off balance. You always want to make sure you balance yourself. You have somewhere to prop. Alright guys, another thing you don't want to do when you're stick welding is long arc. Alright, so right now I am long arcing, and I have the rod really far away from the plate. I'm keeping it like that on purpose to demonstrate what long arcing looks like. You can see my arc caught off, but that was because I was long arcing. Things that can result when you're long arcing is porosity. So here I'm gonna get a little bit closer, but this is still considered long arcing right here. Okay, and this causes porosity. You do not want to do this when you're stick welding. Alright guys, so the third thing you don't want to do when you're stick welding is short arcing. You do not want to dig that rod into the metal and just drag it. Alright guys, you do not want to dig that rod into the metal like I am doing right now. Right now that rod is just short arcing. I'm pretty much just scraping the metal with the rod. You do not want to do that. You want to levitate it about a 16 off the plate. And I can see that it's happening right now. My metal is not spreading like I wanted to spread, but that is because I am short arcing. Alright guys, so the fourth thing that you don't want to do when you're stick welding is weld with a very low amperage. Now right now I am using a 1/8 7018 rod, and these rods, technically you're supposed to weld them around, I'm gonna say anywhere from 130 through 140 amps. Alright, 140 being real hot, and 130 through 135 being where you want to stay at. So right now I'm gonna run this rod around 96 amps, and I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Alright, now I'm welding at 96 amps, and I can tell I am very, very cold. My puddle does not want to spread on me. I have to take forever. I'm going to have to go really, really slow for my puddle to build up. Now, things that can happen when you weld cold is, let's say you're taking a 3G or 4G test and you decide to weld cold. Well, more than likely those test strips, when they go to bend them, they will break. It is always better to run hot and not cold. Right now I'm welding a 1/8 rod, 7018 rod at about 96 amps, and that is really cold because I technically run these at around 135. Alright guys, so the last bead I ran at about 100 amps, 96 amps, say, and actually came out pretty decent. So right now I'm actually gonna turn it down. I turned the machine down to 65 amps. Now, just because you make a bead look decent, it doesn't mean it's a good weld, because you can actually complete a weld test and make it look very good, but if you weld too cold, it's gonna snap when they go to bend those strips. Right now, man, I am way too cold. That arc is struggling to stay on. The arc looks really unbalanced. My puddle is not spreading at all. And what? I can tell I'm way too cold. I am struggling. Alright guys, so the fifth thing that you don't want to do when you stick weld is weld with your amperage too high. Now, I am using a 1/8 rod, 7018, and technically these, I run them around 135, and right now I have my machine set up all the way to 220. So let's see how it goes. Oh man, right here, this is way too hot. My rod is just disappearing. I'm digging into the plate. It's hard to keep my puddle. Man, this is way too hot. Look at that, my puddle is just sinking into the plate. This is not good. This is a big no-no. I got splatter everywhere. Yeah, nah, this is not how you do it. Alright guys, the sixth thing that you don't want to do when you stick weld is weld too fast. Now what happens when you weld too fast is that you don't let your puddle spread out and your bead comes out too skinny. Alright guys, so the seventh thing that you don't want to do when you stick weld is weld too slow. So right now guys, I am welding really slow. My travel speed is really low. And I'm pretty much just not going anywhere. I'm just accumulating metal on top of metal on top of metal. Something that you don't want to do when you weld. What happens when you go too slow is you can trap slag under your weld. Your bead is too wide. Your bead gets too high. And you know, they'll reject it. Alright guys, so lastly, I'm going to show you how to really run a nice bead. I'm running a 1/8 rod, 7018 at about 135 amps. Let's get it. So right here, I'm keeping my puddle nice and consistent. I'm doing a little up and down motion. I'm making sure that my rod stays in front of the puddle. I'm keeping a nice tight arc, but not too tight where I'm digging into the plate. I am not long arcing at all. Keeping a nice puddle. The goal is to keep your puddle the same size all the way, all through your weld, all through your bead. Alright guys, so when you get that slag peel like that, it just means you're a nice welder. You're a good welder. Alright guys, so we're going to go over on what I just did, on what not to do. On this first bead right here, I was off balance. When you weld, you want to be on balance. You want to have a really good balance and be comfortable so that you're as steady as you can be. Now on these two beads right here, I long arc. Right here I long arc. My puddle wasn't there because I was long arcing. I was shooting BBs everywhere and my arc wasn't stable. And on this one, I long arc also, as you can see. You know, I think that what happens when you long arc is you get a lot of porosity right here. See all that porosity? That's because I was long arcing. On this bead right here, I was short arcing. I was pretty much scraping I was scraping the metal with my rod and just dragging it. Okay. Now on this bead over here, I ran this too cold. Now guys, do not be fooled. Even if it looks good, I still ran it too cold. And just because it looks okay doesn't mean it's a good weld. What happens if you run do a weld test and you run too cold is when they bend those strips, it will break. So don't be fooled. So I ran this bead right here about 96 amps right here. Now on this bead over here, I ran it even colder. I believe I ran around 60 amps on this bead. As you can tell, my puddle was not spreading, and it just looks like crap. It looks awful. On this one over here, I ran it way too hot. I believe I was around 220 amps on this bead right here, and my felt rod, like, it was just disappearing. I finished the whole rod and I didn't even get to the end of the plate. Okay. Now on this bead over here, I ran it way too fast. Okay, since I ran it way too fast, I didn't put any metal down. As you can tell, I put very little metal down, and my bead is too skinny. On this one over here, well, I ran it too slow. My travel speed was way too slow. It looks like a big metal turd. I finished the whole rod and I don't even think I got halfway done. Right here. And this is how you want to run your beads, like this. Right here, my travel speed was consistent. I had a nice amperage. As you can tell, as you saw, I had slag peel on this weld right here, and that's what you want to look for. That's what you want when you finish a weld. You want to be able to see the slag peel. That means everything was perfect. Alright guys, well there you have it, how not to weld when welding with stick. I had a lot of fun welding this video. It was actually very hard for me to do this video because I am not used to welding shit. And yeah, until next time.